So this is kind of a long overdue video, if I'm being honest. Basically what this is me showing off the independent haul that my friend Chris has been sending me. However, the thing of it is that this is what we're almost at the end of the haul, and it's been in increments because weather has been delaying the deliveries. Not to mention comic book companies themselves kind of drag their heels on trades sometimes. So I'm going to show off what I have left, but I will say it's not the end. There's about 3 more books left. I'll tell you right now what they are. What's left is Dracula Company of Monsters Volume 2, Universal Monsters Dracula, the book from James Tynion to launch Skybound's new Universal Monster line, and, what was the third one? Oh, yeah, Witches of World War II. Yeah. So those 3 are left of the haul, and I'm going to showcase... And I've done most of the indie haul already. I've reviewed most of the books, but I'm going to show you the tail end of this second haul, and then we will get to... next month, Chris tells me that the next one will be all Marvel books. So, before we go any further, Chris, thank you, my brother. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of these, and all the work you do to help with this channel, and help with my collection that is ever so growing. You know, I've told Chris, like, he's like the Silver Surfer who brings me new worlds, you know, and by worlds I mean comic books to consume. Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna talk about the independent haul. This was the second independent haul. I showed off all the other indie books from the first haul, but let's get started. And I think you're all gonna love the first one he sent, and that is Transformers Volume 1. By Daniel Warren Johnson. This is the first volume of Transformers from the Energon-verse, written by Daniel Warren Johnson. I am so excited for this book. I can't tell you guys how hyped I am to read this book. Chris told me also he pre-ordered Duke and Cobra Commander for me, so thank you in advance, Chris, for that. I'm very excited to read because I really dug Void Rivals, but this is where we get to the real meat and potatoes of this new Energon verse. So I've heard nothing but just absolute amazing work from this book. I love Daniel Warren Johnson as an artist and a writer. I recently did a review of his original book from Image, Do a Powerbomb. His original work, his stuff at Marvel with Beta Ray Bill. The guy just makes magic. And I'm waiting for him to do a Godzilla book for IDW. Because he did do some art prints a few days ago of like Godzilla and Mecha Ghidorah and I think Gigan and Mecha Godzilla too. But yeah, I really want to see him do a Godzilla book. But no, I'm super excited for this. This will probably be the next comic review you see, honestly. Next up, we have Darkwing Duck from Dynamite Books. I'm shocked Dynamite has been putting out trades as fast as they have, because I've been saying this for a while. Dynamite was really slow on the upkeep for Image books. I mean, not Image books. There's so many Image comics I have. So slow on the upkeep for trades for trades. That I was shocked when I actually got the Gargoyles first volume in trade. I was genuinely surprised by that. And yeah, to have this, Chris also told me that he's also pre-ordered Negaduck Volume 1 for me. So thank you. So once again, thank you, brother. I'm going to review that as well. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. I dug what they did at Boom Studios with Darkwing Duck. So I'm very interested to see how this will go. Everyone's been raving about this Darkwing Duck series since it came to Dynamite and a lot of the Disney properties. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This will probably be the second book comic review you see. Next up, we have Gunslinger Spawn Volume 4. I've been I have my favorite junk food comic are Spawn books. For those who don't know, for any new subscribers. I really don't care for Spawn books, but I love them anyway. It's like junk food comics. It's not this is the 4th volume. Chris has been keeping me in the loop with especially Gunslinger Spawn since Volume 1. And I've been enjoying it. It's your typical Spawn. It's written by Todd McFarlane. It's just pictures over story, and God help me, I love it. It's just so goddamn ridiculous, but I love this series, and yeah, like I've been saying before, Spawn is just junk food comics for me. Like, it's not good. It's not good for me. It's not good for my wallet. But like, it's fun. Like, I don't need every like, I know what I'm getting into when I'm reading these books. So yeah, Gunslinger Spawn Volume 4. Next up, we have one that I'm very interested in, Archangel 8. Archangel 8 is basically, I have no idea what this comic is, but apparently from what I understand, Archangel 8 is basically a comic that is the archangels, the actual archangels from the Bible as a SEAL team. That's really all I can glean. So imagine Call of Duty with angels. That's the best way I could describe it, is Call of Duty with angels. So curious about that. Next up, I'm going to do 2 for 1 right here. That is volumes 3 and 4, 2 and 3, 2 and 3 of Redneck. For those who don't know what Redneck is, I did talk about it a little while back, but basically Redneck is a comic by Donny Cates, who most of you guys would know best for writing, he had done Venom, he's done a lot of other projects. This is one of his Image books. Essentially what this is a family of vampires living in Texas, and it's about their family bond as a clan of vampires living in, like, the one state you wouldn't expect it's a bunch of redneck vampires just trying to get by in life, and shenanigans happen. I really love the first volume. I might do, like, volumes 2 and 3 as, like, one big volume review. So, yeah. I also heard that, like... Hang on, fucking chair. I also heard that, like, there's only 6 volumes, so I guess I'm halfway through, but volume 3 has yet to be released because I always reiterate this because people have grossly disgusted me with misinformation on this matter. Just to reiterate again, Donny Cates suffered a horrible car accident and was going through depression after a divorce with his wife at the time. And the accident was so bad, he had lost 3-4 months of his memory, so a lot of the books, especially at Marvel, were put on hold. And he was still working at Rednecks at the time. Now, I've heard back and forth that, like, they haven't canceled it, they're just waiting for Donny to come back, but I don't know. So, Volume 6 may never come out. I do want to get all the volumes of Redneck that are out, and it's apparently getting harder to do, so I need to jump on that and get while the getting's good. Anyway, so moving right along to our next vampire book, Dracula Company of Monsters Volume 3. This actually showed up before Volume 2 did. Volume 2 will show up, according to Chris, about, like, over the weekend, so I'm excited for that. Actually, the first 4 books I mentioned came earlier than expected. They were supposed to show up earlier, but I guess Midtown Comics just decided, nope, we're gonna showcase it now. So... yeah, that means I have once Volume 2 gets here, I will have all 3 volumes of a comic that I've been dying to read, no pun intended, of a comic that I've wanted to read for a long time. So, yeah. To reiterate, because I did a review of Volume 1, Dracula Company of Monsters is written by Kurt Busiek, who most of you guys would know best for doing one of arguably the best runs of Avenger comics. And he's also known for Astro City. He wrote this comic with a company resurrecting Dracula in order to gain, like, immortality and use him as a company weapon for corporate espionage. But of course Dracula ain't having that shit. It's very much Succession with Dracula. That's what it is. So obviously I'm not going to read Volume 3. I don't even want to skim through this book out of fear of spoiling anything. So, like Redneck, I will probably be doing a combined review of 2 and 3, and yeah, I'm so excited that I'll finally be able to have, like, this one of my many white whales. Ugh. Next up, The Good Asian. This is Volume 1 of The Good Asian. Basically, this is a detective noir story focusing on an Asian American dealing with a murder in California. I love noir stories. I love a good noir story, and I've been dying to read this book for a long time. There's only 2 volumes from what I understand. It's like a 2-part series, so I can hopefully find volume 2 somewhere. Anyway, so I'm excited to read this. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it, so yeah. Next up, back to vampires. Goddamn chair! I swear to God, every time I say I'm gonna fix this or get a better chair, I don't. But yeah, so next up we have Philadelphia Volume 2. I really loved Philadelphia Volume 1. For those who don't know what Philadelphia is from Rodney Barnes, who wrote a really cool Blackula series, basically a vampire conspiracy set in Philadelphia. It actually has a spin-off called that I've done before called the Nita Hayes Demon Blog. That's set in that universe, and currently in the books there is a event going on that I don't know if that event's over or not, but like there's currently an event involving Philadelphia crossing over with Savage Dragon, Spawn, and Blackula involving Dracula. It's really cool. Like, I'm very excited for it. So I've been meaning to read this, and I skimmed through. Malcolm X is a werewolf. How fucking cool is that? It occurs to me that I have a lot of vampire books, and while I like vampires, I'm more of a werewolf guy. I really need some more werewolf comics in my collection, because I know vampires are hot shit, but like, I need me some werewolves. Anyway, next up, Volume 2 of I Hate Fairyland. I adored Volume 1, so I'm very excited for this. Not much to really say about this one, other than this is going to be fun to read, if it's anything like the first volume. Anyway, now we come to some books that came from 2 books that I'm just going to lump in here because they came from GoFundMe's. Yeah. So, first up, Cthulhu Invades Neverland. This is the 3rd book in the Cthulhu Invades trilogy. I did, a few years back, the review of Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, and that was a lot of fun, so I'm very excited for Neverland. I really want to get Cthulhu Invades Oz. That's the first book in this series, so I really want to collect the whole trilogy, because basically what it is that Cthulhu and the other H.P. Lovecraft monsters invade, like, different imaginary worlds, so it's like an anthology story that tells like an overarching story along with it from various artists and writers. It's a lot of the first one was a lot of fun, so I'm very excited to see where this goes. And yeah, it is like we're making horror versions of like known Disney property, like known public domain properties that are known specifically for Disney. But this is done right. Like the Wonderland one was done with a lot of care and love for the original property of the original Lewis Carroll novel, and it didn't feel like It was really cool to have Cthulhu in Wonderland because it's all about, madness and whatnot. So it was like a perfect fit. So I imagine this is going to be the same thing too with Neverland. I really want to get the first book, Cthulhu Invades Oz. I really want to just complete the trilogy. But I've also heard like they're going to do a 4th book. And I think, I don't know what it is, but I imagine it'll probably be like, what's it called? The Land from the Nutcracker. Like, I think that's it, or it's something else, I don't know. But anyway, so there you go. And finally, we have Azza the Barbed, the Saga of the Gods, Chapter 1. That's a mouthful. No idea about this book. It looks really cool, and I always enjoy when these super independent groups basically make a hardcover book. Like usually it's all paperback, but this time around it's like legit hardcover. I really like that. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is the Indie Haul, and like I said, there are some other books, but I decided not to wait because I wanted to do this showcase because I owe Chris for everything he does for me with these videos. Like these are my way of saying thank you to my brother. So I was thinking about no, I've made him wait and I've done enough of the reviews themselves. I'm going to showcase what's left of the haul and also show you guys what's coming down the line at some point or another. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much my review for... not review. Fuck. That's the independent haul. Like I said, the first ones you're probably going to see are Transformers and Darkwing Duck, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, other than that, Chris, thank you so much for the books. I greatly appreciate all of your help all the time for these comics, because God knows I wouldn't be able to afford this on my own, and, you know, thank you once again, brother, from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.